It's literally like having a gun pointed to your head every day. Living with this specific diagnosis has made me even more determined to be present for my family.
Our heart sinks when we see people diagnosed with cancer that is this far advanced, especially somebody at such a young age.
Cancer has spread from my breast to the other parts of my body, primarily my bones. I have over 60 lesions of cancer on my spine. Being stage 4 is the end of the road. My name is Michelle Girardi, and I am 47 years old. I'll be 48 this month. I'm married to Laurent, and we have 2 children, ages 9 and 5. Life before diagnosis was bright and full of hope. I was a very active participant in my community, traveled a lot with my husband of 25 years. I was an avid Argentinian tango dancer because I loved to dance. Later on in life, we had our kids. We moved to this area because of the beauty of the mountains and the waters, and we took advantage of all of those things. But I was short-tempered and overly assumptive of the gifts that life had to give. When I found out about my diagnosis, I had just finished breastfeeding my youngest child. My left breast, part of it had gone in a little bit, but I wasn't experiencing any pain. I went in and had it checked, and my gynecologist said, "You're fine. Just go in and have your yearly mammogram." Well, I go in and find out that I have a tumor that is 7 inches in diameter. It was so big, that's why she missed it. She thought it was part of my breast. The wheels just start going, and they do bone scans and bone biopsies. We found out that I had metastatic breast cancer.
Metastatic breast cancer is when there are cells that originate from the breast, cancerous cells that spread either through the lymphatics or through the bloodstream to a distant site. Those cells change and they become tougher and they become more heterogeneous. So it is harder to kill them, but you can't completely eradicate them.
With that came a new perspective on life, a new way of living, and a new way of being with my family. My kids will have always grown up with me having cancer. For the first 2 years after my initial diagnosis, I was NED, no evidence of disease. So I had a chemo treatment, and then I was NED. I thought, this is it.
While I'm always happy to see that because it's the best possible outcome we could hope for, it's always, that happiness is tempered by the knowledge that usually that doesn't last.
This year, bam, I had a recurrence. With that came a lot of very, very frightening times, because this is where the dime had turned. I'm having a recurrence, and with that comes a lot of reprocessing, self-questioning, doubt, fear. And I had a major breakdown. And I said to my husband, "What are we doing here? We could be living in Europe. What is the essence of our experience?" I had us moving to Amsterdam like the week later. And then I talked to my friend Rebecca. We had a really good talk. She made me realize that wherever you go, there you are. And so to help me with these new feelings of fear and doubt and disbelief, I'm gonna do more of what I love. In terms of our lives now, they've dramatically changed. My husband and I, we don't really argue anymore. I'm always asking myself, do I want to be stressed about this? Is this worth raising any toxicity levels in my system? And the answer is always no. There's no question in my mind whether I'm gonna get out of bed every day. My husband works 50 hours a week, so I manage our household. I am much more present for my children, for my husband, for myself. I wasn't conscious of myself, and now I am. I basically started networking more. I turned on my gears. I don't have any immediate family that lives here with us in the area. It's hard to have a friend with cancer. It's really hard. Those that have stayed have been phenomenal.
She has made some connections with other women who also have metastatic breast cancer. That experience can't help but shape your perspective on life. It's very different than early breast cancer, where there's a focus on breasts and a focus on pink ribbons and a focus on people who are likely to be long-term survivors. And it's just a whole different deal.
So these community members have risen up, and we do a lot of things together, and they are basically become my chosen family. So there is a movement happening, and I wanted to be a part of it. I have become an active member with MedUp. We are a group of women and men who are working to raise awareness of the disease and also to call on more research and funding. I met Beth, a woman in my METS group, who really inspired me to do something more.
We don't actually know how many people are living with metastatic breast cancer in the United States. Our national databases don't track when someone who had early stage breast cancer develops metastatic disease. That hole in our knowledge makes it difficult for us to know best how to treat patients with metastatic breast cancer and how to treat early stage patients so that they don't develop metastatic breast cancer. We need a lot more research. Currently, in the United States, breast cancer research funding is primarily aimed at early stage disease, which doesn't generally cause death. There needs to be a change in that funding. Our big event that we're going to have to kick off our movement is going to be in Washington, D.C. on Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day, which is October 13th. We're going to have what we call a die-in. We're going to have women and men, because men get breast cancer too, lay down on the Capitol lawn and represent the people who die every day of metastatic breast cancer. And then after we have our event, we're going to go meet with some members of Congress and hopefully convince them that they should direct research funding to go towards saving our lives.
It's really interesting that this is happening now. What great timing for me. I'm still alive. I'm thinking about legacy. I get to serve my community. All the stars have aligned, and what I want is happening. I've been given a gift. I'm still here.